Monday, April 23rd, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Besides looking at the market this morning, I'm going to look at the fraudulent nature of fiat money and how it's hidden in plain sight. Yes, hidden in plain sight. Sometimes that's the best way to hide things. And I'm going to prove that to you by looking at a couple of Bank of England notes. The £50 note, which is not a very common one, and the £20 note. And also, I'll look at a gold sovereign, British gold sovereign coin, and explain to you how it's hidden in plain sight and how maybe we could do something about it. But before that, let's see what's going on in the markets this morning. It's fairly early. It's 7:30 a.m. London. The 10-year note, I spoke about it yesterday. The yield is up again this morning. We are at 297. The high's been just under 298, so we're continuing to go higher. So keep that in mind. Gold right now is $13.34, down about $1.50. The range has been $13.31.50 and $13.38. Silver is at $17.08, down about 2 cents. Range has been $17.03 to $17.16. Unfortunately, the bankers, the bullion banks, the central banks, they're constantly fighting against real money in order to keep their crappy, fraudulent fiat paper looking good. So that the Dow is up 24 points at 24,487, up 0.1%. S&P 2675, up 4.5 points, just 0.17%. The Nasdaq 100 futures is also up about 0.17%. Currency-wise, we've got the pound a little stronger against the dollar. We're at 140.28, up 30 pips or 0.2%. The euro is virtually unchanged against the dollar, down 0.1% at 122.74. And the dollar is a little stronger against the yen, 0.2% at 107.84. And before I proceed, I think people who from different countries, yes, these currencies do fluctuate against each other. Sometimes the dollar is stronger, sometimes the euro's stronger, and vice versa, the yen, sterling. In the end of the day, in the long term though, they're all sinking in value against real money, physical gold. I know the last few years have been frustrating also for silver stackers, but I continue to, it's common sense. The more of these pieces of paper and the more debt they issue, the less value it will have. And they won't be able to manipulate this forever. So, the fraudulent nature of the Bank of England note. Well, this story goes back to when I was working in the city. One day, I just went out to get some lunch, and I was putting money back in my wallet, walking up Bishopsgate. If any of you know the city of London, I used to work around there, and I put a £20 note back in my wallet, and then I just looked at it, and don't know why, and I saw underneath where it says Bank of England up here, there's a little there's a promissory, there's a promise here. It says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20. And I was wondering, what are they going to pay me? Are they going to pay me 20 of these? And why do I say 20 gold sovereigns if the price is over £200? Well, because legally, the sovereign, according to Wikipedia, it says the sovereign is a gold coin of the United Kingdom with a nominal value of £1 sterling. So technically, I should be able to go to the Bank of England, take one of these to the chief cashier, whose name is Well, this is the old one here. Andrew Bailey, that was the old cashier. He signed that note. Now it's Victoria Cleland, C-L-E-L-A-N-D, Victoria Cleland. I could go to Victoria Cleland and say, here's a £50 note. You say you promised to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £50. Nominally, and by law, this is £1. So can I please have my 50 gold sovereigns? But they won't do that. And that just exposes the whole fraudulent nature of the system that they can keep. It's like a legal system that's completely warped. It's completely tricked. It doesn't make sense that you say something is one thing, but you actually don't, how can I say, dispatch on your promise. It says here, with the start of the First World War in 1914, the sovereign vanished from circulation in Britain, replaced by paper money, and did not return after the war, though issues of colonial mints continued until 1932. The coin was still used in the Middle East, and demand rose in the 1950s, which the Royal Mint eventually responded by striking new sovereigns in 1957. It has been struck since then, both as bullion coin beginning in 1979 for collectors. Though the sovereign is no longer in circulation, it is still legal tender in the United Kingdom. It says here that they vanished from circulation with the start of World War I. Well, they didn't vanish into circulation. It's just that the banking system, the Bank of England, basically stole them from the public. They suspended convertibility of these notes, which gave you the right to ask for your money back, because this is only a promissory note. So we are technically still under wartime rules and laws, even though we're supposed to be at peace. So I've called the Bank of England before. You can go on their website, bankofengland.co.uk. Interesting that it's not .gov.uk, isn't it? It's .co.uk. Well, what does the Bank of England website say? Well, the interesting thing, the main page, when you go into bankofengland.co.uk, it says, the Bank of England, promoting the good of the people of the United Kingdom by maintaining monetary and financial stability. Wow, that's quite a statement for an institution that prints banknotes that are backed by nothing. Well, actually, they're backed by debt. And I have called the Bank of England before, and you can do this too. You can call the inquiries under contact, and you can ask to speak to the chief cashier or maybe someone from the press office. Say that you have a question about the Bank of England notes, and then you can make your complaint. And I've done that before, and what I was told is that this promise that they put on the note basically means that you can take an old note to the Bank of England or any other bank, and that they will give you a new one. And my question to that answer was, so how come instead of putting I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20? First of all, I asked £20 of what? And they said, oh, we just give you a new £20 note. They should put then, we promise to give you a new £20 note if this one is damaged. Why don't they put that? This looks very misleading to me. And the other time I contacted them was actually on Twitter. I've got the Bank of England on to follow them on Twitter. And a few years ago, they were talking about the new banknotes that they were coming out with. And I asked the question again. And the person from the Bank of England said that, I said, how come, you say it's 20, I asked again, £20 of what? And the person said, well, it's backed by government debt. So you've got a promissory note, which is a debt, backed by another debt. So how how does that work? How can you actually extinguish debt by paying with another debt? To me, it seems like a Ponzi scheme. The only way to extinguish that is with real money, with the sovereign or even the silver coin, and they don't do that. So that's a really easy way to expose the system. And I remember going once, before the financial crisis, a long time ago, maybe 2003 or 4, don't remember exactly. I was looking into the libertarian movement because of the Austrian School of Economics. And there's something called the Libertarian Alliance in the UK. I went to one of their, how can I say, small conferences in the city, in central London. And actually there are some pretty high up people there. Even Boris Johnson was there. I think at the time he was just worked for the Telegraph newspaper. There was a famous economist called Samuel Britton. He was there. And after the speech by all the different speakers, I went up to Samuel Britton, and I asked him about this. And he said, wow, this is just, he couldn't answer my question. This is supposed to be a very respected economist. And I said, but don't you think this shows the system is screwed up? He said, oh no, but this is just, he couldn't answer it. So that's how they don't have an answer for it. And if you don't have an answer for something as important as this, as money that we use, as transactions, you can't explain this, and at the same time, you say that you're promoting the good of the people of the UK by maintaining monetary and financial stability, there's definitely something wrong. So yeah, I recommend all my UK viewers, give the Bank of England a call and ask them about this. Or tweet to the Bank of England if you are anywhere in the world and ask them about the Bank of England note and why they promise to pay something and they don't. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Make sure you click on the bell to get notified of new videos. And you can follow me on DTube, on Steemit, and on Twitter. And I'll talk to you later.